Retirement. It's supposed to be our golden age, a time when the hard work is done and the rewards are meant to be enjoyed. But for millions of Americans, a shadow is cast over these years. A shadow created by a single decision made years earlier. A decision that feels right at the time, but ends up being a permanent financial handicap. We are talking about the $100,000 Social Security mistake, and in many cases, it's a $200,000 mistake. What is this mistake? It's not complicated. It's not a secret loophole. It is simply claiming your Social Security benefits at age 62. It's the default choice. It's the earliest choice. And for the vast majority of people, it is the wrong choice. This isn't a scolding. It's a wake-up call. Because this decision isn't like a bad investment you can sell. This decision is permanent. It results in a permanent pay cut for the rest of your life, and potentially for the rest of your partner's life. Over the next 20 minutes, we are going to do a deep dive. We won't just tell you what the mistake is. We will explore why so many of us make it. We will walk through the hard math, step by step, and we will discuss the one group of people who are most affected. This is the most important retirement decision you will ever make, and it's time to get it right. But why are we talking about this now? Because of what is happening in Washington and what is scheduled to happen in 2026. At the end of 2025, the massive tax cuts signed into law during the Trump administration, known as the TCJA, are set to expire. If nothing is done, tax rates for most Americans will automatically go up in 2026. This creates a new, massive financial pressure. When your taxes go up, your savings rate goes down. The financial cushion you thought you had suddenly gets smaller, and this pressure, this squeeze, is what can force you into making a panic decision. It's what can force you into taking Social Security at age 62, just to get the cash flow. The tax changes coming in 2026 make it more critical than ever to understand the $100,000 mistake and to have a plan to avoid it. So, if it's such a costly mistake, why do so many of us do it? Why do nearly 30% of Americans claim their benefits right at 62? The reasons are powerful, and they are emotional. First, there is fear. This is the biggest driver. We hear it every day. Social Security is going broke. The trust fund is running out. I better get my money while I still can. This fear is understandable. The news is full of dire predictions about the trust fund's depletion. But let's look at this logically. Even if Congress does absolutely nothing, which is unlikely, the incoming payroll taxes are projected to cover roughly 80% of all benefits. So, the worst-case scenario is a 20% cut in the future. Now ask yourself this: does it make sense to take a guaranteed 30% cut today to avoid a potential 20% cut more than a decade from now? The math just doesn't add up. You are locking in a worse outcome today out of fear of a potential bad outcome tomorrow. Second, there is need. This is the most legitimate reason. People lose their jobs in their late 50s or early 60s. Health issues arise, the savings run out, and Social Security becomes a lifeline. If you are in this position, if it's the difference between paying the mortgage or not, then you must do what you must do. This video is not for those in a true financial emergency. It is for those who have a choice. And third, there is culture and bad advice. We do it because our friends did it. Our parents did it. A coworker said, "Just take the money and invest it." We'll get to why that is a terrible idea later. It becomes the normal thing to do. It's the path of least resistance. But in finance, the normal path is rarely the optimal path. Okay, let's put the emotion aside and look at the cold, hard numbers. This is where the $100,000 mistake becomes clear. First, you must know your full retirement age, or FRA. For most people watching, born in 1960 or later, your FRA is age 67. This is the age you are entitled to 100% of your earned benefit. Let's use a simple, common example. Let's say your benefit at your full retirement age, age 67, is $2,000 per month. Now let's look at 3 scenarios. Scenario 1, you claim at age 62, the mistake. The moment you claim before your FRA, you lock in a permanent reduction. At age 62, that reduction is 30%. So your $2,000 benefit is immediately cut. Your monthly check is now $1,400. That's $600 less every single month, forever. Scenario 2, you wait until your FRA at age 67. You do nothing, you just wait. At 67, you claim your benefit. Your monthly check is $2,000. That's 100% of what you earned. Scenario 3, you delay until age 70. The optimal choice. The Social Security system pays you to wait. For every year you delay past your full retirement age, you earn something called delayed retirement credits. This is a guaranteed 8% raise per year. This is not 8% of what you would have gotten. It's an 8% increase on your full benefit. So you wait 3 years, from 67 to 70. That's a 24% raise. Your monthly check is now $2,480. Now, let's look at those 3 numbers. 1,400 versus 2,000 versus 2,480. The person who waits until 70 receives a check that is 77% larger than the person who claimed at 62. But the real question is, what about the lifetime value? The 62-year-old is getting money for 8 more years. This is called the break-even point. The math shows it's usually around age 79 or 80. If you pass away before age 79, the 62-year-old wins. They got more money in total, but if you live past age 80, the person who waited wins, and they win big. And here is the critical fact. A healthy 65-year-old couple today has a very high probability that at least one of them will live past age 90. Let's do the lifetime math for someone who lives to 90. The person who claimed at 62 will have received a lifetime total of $470,400. The person who waited until 70 will have received a lifetime total of $595,200. There it is. That is a $124,800 difference. That is the $100,000 mistake. You are, in effect, betting against your own longevity, and statistics show that is a bad bet. But what about that coworker, the one who said, take the money at 62 and invest it? He says, I can beat that 8% return in the stock market. This is perhaps the most dangerous piece of advice. First, that 8% raise from the government is guaranteed. It is risk-free. The stock market is not. To get an 8% return in the market, you have to take on significant risk. Are you prepared to risk your retirement income in a market crash? Second, and this is critical, that 8% raise is on top of cost of living adjustments, or COLAS. When you delay, your base benefit grows by 8%, and it gets the inflation adjustment. This combination is something you simply cannot replicate in any risk-free investment anywhere in the world. Thinking you can outinvest the guaranteed, inflation-protected, risk-free 8% return is not a strategy, it is gambling. And you are gambling with the one income source that you cannot outlive. So far, we've only been talking about you. But now, we need to talk about the person this decision really affects. Your spouse. This is the part of the $100,000 mistake that no one talks about. And it is the most devastating. We are talking about survivor benefits. Here is how it works. When there are 2 spouses and one of them passes away, the surviving spouse gets to keep one check, the higher of the 2. Let's go back to our example. Let's say you are the higher earner. Your benefit is the $2,000 at age 67. Your spouse, perhaps, stayed home with the children or earned less. Their benefit is smaller. Now scenario A. You make the mistake and claim at 62. Your check is permanently cut to $1,400. You live for 20 more years, and then you pass away. Your surviving spouse now loses their smaller check and inherits yours. for the rest of their life, perhaps for 10 or 15 more years, alone. They are forced to live on that $1,400 a month. Now, scenario B, you delay until 70. Your check is $2,480. You live for 20 more years, and then you pass away. Your surviving spouse now inherits your check. For the rest of their life, they will receive $2,480 a month. Think about that. Your decision today directly determines the financial quality of life for your partner after you are gone. By claiming early, you are not just costing yourself $100,000. You are potentially costing your surviving spouse $1,000 every single month at the most vulnerable time of their life. That is the true, tragic, six-figure mistake. Your decision is not just about you, it is the last and most important financial gift you can leave for the person you love. Now, after everything I've said, I must be clear. This is not one size fits all. There are a few specific cases where claiming at 62 is the right move. 1. You have a clear poor health prognosis. If you are in poor health, and your doctors have given you a reason to believe you will not live to average life expectancy, then you should absolutely claim your benefits as early as possible. 2. You are in a true financial emergency. As we said before, if it's the difference between food and no food, the math doesn't matter. You must take care of your immediate survival. 3. You are part of a complex spousal strategy. For some couples, it can make sense for the lower-earning spouse to claim their own benefit early, while the higher-earning spouse delays theirs until 70. This provides some cash flow, while still maximizing the most important benefit, which is the survivor benefit. This is an advanced strategy, and you should speak to a professional about it. But for most people, for the average healthy American, waiting is the answer. So the conclusion is clear. Wait as long as you can, ideally until 70. And I can hear you asking, that's great, but how am I supposed to live from 62 to 70 without an income? This is the solution. It's called building a bridge. You need a bridge of money to get you from the day you stop working to the day you claim Social Security. Where does this bridge come from? It comes from your other retirement accounts, your 401k, your IRA, your other savings. This is a profound shift in thinking. Most people protect their 401k and spend their Social Security. The correct strategy is to spend your 401k first to protect your Social Security. Think of it this way. By using your 401k money for a few years, you are buying that 8% risk-free, inflation-adjusted return from the government. Where else in the world can you get an investment that good? You can't. So the mistake is not just claiming at 62. The mistake is seeing your 401k and your Social Security as two separate things. They are a system. Use your 401k as the bridge to get to the largest possible Social Security benefit. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes only. Please consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. But the first step is free. Go to ssa.gov. Create your My Social Security account. Look at your numbers. See the difference between 62, 67, and 70. This is not a small decision. It is the decision. Don't choose the default path. Choose the informed path. Protect yourself and protect your family. Thank you for watching.